You read the title. Let's get into it. Your real problem isn't money, it's connections. So if you're struggling with money, or you got money blocks, or you got a business and things are stuck, you're not getting customers, or you're stuck at the same revenue, or things just aren't progressing, it's not a money problem. It's a connections problem. Here's what you have to understand. Money comes from other people. Now, I know there's a lot of people on my channel who are into the manifestation niche because I used to make content around that. And I do believe in manifestation, but in the practical sense of turning what's imagined or theoretical into reality. And a lot of people take that idea and try and apply it to money. But money is a totally separate thing. I have an idea for this YouTube video, it's download into my mind, and I bring that into reality. Now, when it comes to money, money has rules. Money comes from other people. You're not the Federal Reserve. You're not just going to pop money into your life out of thin air from nothing and from no one. And I want you to ask yourself, the people who teach you this on the internet, okay? They make content. They project things into the world. They are seen. They make connections with people, with vast amounts of people, and then sell them, manifest money. If you want money, you got to be connected. Here's the thing. If you have received money in your life, it has come from a particular connection. So even if you got allowance, you have a connection with your parents, and your parents gave you some allowance money. If you have a job, okay, what you have done is offered your time, your energy, your labor to an employer, and they have decided to pay you. You have a connection with that employer. And you have an offer. An offer is just giving somebody the opportunity to get something they want. You're offering that to them, and they pay you money for that. So a lot of people, they have basically one customer or client who is their employer, and they're paid $50,000 a year. They have a $50,000 offer with one customer or client. But it's still a connection because money comes from other people. So the problem is not usually that you don't have something to sell, or there's an entirely messed up thing with your sales process, or your offer is crap, or something along those lines, or what you're offering is crap. It's usually not that. It's usually that not enough people know who you are, or not enough of the right people know who you are. So in the music industry, which was the first industry I started making some decent money in the music industry, I was an artist, producer, I was an engineer. I put music out. I got some streams on Spotify, which is connecting with people. My music connected with people, which made me some money. The streaming platform paid me to keep people on their platform because I connected with them through my music. And due to the vast amount of those connections, it caused other people to connect with me. More clients at the studio job I was working at. Once again, connections, people who paid me. Distribution deal connections. Once again, people I connected with, we made money together. I also transitioned out of that and made significant amounts of money as a talent manager in the adult industry and the OnlyFans business. That business is entirely about being seen. People think, it's about sex and it's about selling pictures and it's so easy. It's about being seen. How are these models going to sell anything if no one knows who they are? The entire game of that business, 99% of that business is being seen. There was a guy I spoke to in that business who said, most people, they try and optimize all this bullshit And it's really just an excuse for bad marketing. It's really just an excuse for not having enough people know who you are. So once again, you don't have a money problem, you have a connections problem. If more people knew who you were and what you did, and you had a level of expertise or skill that could actually help them, and enough people knew about you, they would pay you. All the money in my life has come from connecting with other people. And I didn't realize this when I was coming up. I didn't realize this at all because I had what you would call lone wolf syndrome. Because of the music industry and how I maneuvered through the music industry, I did everything. I wrote the songs, I produced the records, I recorded the records, I mixed the records, I mastered the records, I put the records out, distributed the records, put together a team for videos. At first, I would just set up a camera and shoot a music video myself, but then that doesn't create great videos. So I ended up having to get help and connections with that. But I thought I could do everything myself. I was a lone wolf. And this is not how you win, because the lone wolf dies and the pack thrives. It wasn't until I connected with other people that things started to maneuver and happen in my music career. How would I have ever gotten into the OnlyFans business and made money there if I didn't connect with models? The money just didn't come out of thin air. And then I moved to coaching and consulting. The very first person to get into my Next Realm program was someone who he had never met me. He connected with me online. He saw what I was doing and projecting into the world online. I was traveling and my life had changed because he knew me from music. And then my Instagram suddenly changed dramatically over time. I was hopping all over the world, had all these different things happening. And he was like, what's going on here? I need to talk to Seth. And he paid me and got on a call with me. And I helped him out with a business he was running. And then the next year, I'm like, yo, I want to get out of the adult biz. It's not with my purpose, mission, and vision. I want to do something else. And I want to see if I can help other people make money from the principles I have learned from the other two businesses I've been in. So I put something out on Instagram saying, hey, I'm going to be running this thing. If you have skills, talent, knowledge, I want to see if I can help you turn that into money online. He was the first person to message me. Mind you, he's never met me in person. He was the first person to message me. He said, I'm interested in this. And I had 10 people do that. And the majority of them, maybe all of them, had never met me in person. I had projected something online, who I was online, and I had 10 people respond to me saying, I'm interested in joining this. Now, I did it for free at the beginning. And this is important because you might have something that you want to offer to the world. You might have something that you think can make money. You might be good at fitness. You might be good at speaking. You might be good at helping people make money. You might be good at, skiing, whatever it is. And you want to see if you can make some money helping people do this. It would help you out to do it for free first, because you don't know if you can get people results for sure. So I suggest that you do it for free at first. But Seth, I have money problems. You need to learn before you earn. You need to learn what works for people. You need to learn if what you're doing is actually successful. Then you can go earn some money. That's a totally different conversation. But the money I made from coaching and consulting has come from connections, from projecting things into the world and connecting with people. So really, 99% of your problem most of the time is that not enough people know you. Why do not enough people know you? Not enough people know you most of the time because you're afraid of being seen. Afraid of being seen. And I already made a video about this. There was a guy I was speaking to, And he could make some money. He's smart, he's young, he's fit, he has some accomplishments, he can help people, but he won't project a message out onto the internet. He won't be seen. He's afraid of being seen. You're afraid of being seen because of guilts and shames and resentments in your past, especially guilt and shame. Especially guilt and shame. Guilt and shame will prevent you from showing up because you don't want people digging up the skeletons in your closet and mentioning them to you or showing them to other people. And I had this problem, okay? I didn't want to say anything on the internet because I had guilt and shame around the OnlyFans business. I taught people how to make money in that business, and they made millions of dollars. They made more money than me because they had less guilt and shame around the business. I had guilt and shame around that business. So I made less money. And it also prevented me from showing up on YouTube and talking and telling my story authentically as I should, as you should. So what did I do? I just did exposure therapy with it. I just mention it. And I'm honest about it. Those who have a problem with it, leave. Those who don't, stay. Regardless, what would you rather have happen? People connect with a fake version of you that eventually will be exposed, or connect with the real version of you where they know what they're getting? So your fear of being seen a lot of the time comes from shame. And you're worried about being ashamed in the future, which is fear. You're afraid that people will say bad things about you and it'll hurt your reputation, or it'll make you feel bad, or some other problematic thing will happen. And so you won't let people know who you are, which in turn downstream prevents you from getting money. Because I'm not one of those guys who's going to tell you to sit in your house and meditate and do nothing so that you can get paid, because it's not going to work. And all the people online who told you to do that are being seen. One of the most important lessons you could ever learn in life, okay, is to look at what people do and not what they say. Look at what people do and not what they say. I'm on YouTube. I put out a video every day right now. I talk every day, and I still want you to analyze what I am doing. That's going to tell you what's actually going on. Okay? Shame, guilt, and resentment. That prevents you from showing up. And I made a whole video about that. So you need to solve that. That's an emotional charge. It's a subconscious charge. That's the fourth law of the universe, polarity. But you see, you perceive negative and positive things in your mind. You think it would be negative to demonstrate who you are. You think it'll be negative to show up in the world, right? But it would be positive to make a whole bunch of money. And actually, you think it would be positive to stay hidden. That's why you're still there, because you won't make a decision unless you see more benefits than drawbacks. It's polarity. But here's the thing, and this is science for you. An atom has a negatively charged electron and a positively charged positron. And when you slam those things together, you get gamma rays, which is light, and you become more enlightened and you are more seen. You glow. You shine your light into the world. When you're able to cancel out those shames and guilts. So you got to crush your fear of being seen, because that's what's preventing you from getting the paper. And when you've crushed the fear of being seen, you got to be able to show up and speak authentically in the world, because you're not trying to bury any more skeletons. You want to show up authentically in the world and connect with people and speak in a way that resonates. That's what I'm going to be teaching in my Aura Academy cohort. If you're interested in that, join the waitlist below. Because it's not enough to have just gotten over your fear of being seen. Now you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to project magnetism and aura into the world to draw the right people to you so you can get paid. So, whole moral of this video: think about how you can connect with people. Think less about the paper, think less about the money, and more about how you can connect with people and then how you can help people. What can you do for them? And when you think about how you can help people, they pay you to help them. Connections equal currency. See you in the next video tomorrow. Peace.